Hi, my name is Randy Siebold, Vice President for Education at Weimar Center for Health and Education. Glad you're with us today. I'd like to introduce to you Mr. Chad Bernard from Lansing, and now the new principal for next year at Weimar Academy.
That's right. That's right.
Good. So tell me a little bit about yourself, your family. You're moving in, be coming in this summer.
Right, yeah, my wife Melinda and I, we're very excited to move from Michigan out here to California. We spent a whole lot of time praying for God's will to be done in this situation, and we believe that the Lord is leading us here.
Amen.
And we're excited, very excited about being a part of the family.
So now we've heard lots of really good recommendations about you and your program back in Lansing, and so what is it that turns your table and makes you feel like you're going to accept to come out to Weimar?
Well, that's a great question. I love Lansing. I love the people there. They're wonderful people, and there was no real reason for us to leave other than we believe that God was calling us here. We saw the potential and the things that were going out here in Weimar, and we just really wanted to be a part of that. And we believe that God is calling us to do it. And I know that I wish I had a really long explanation to give you, Randy, but that's it. Melinda and I have made a covenant with the Lord that His will is first and foremost in our lives, and we want to do that in all aspects of our lives, and we believe that that's what motivated us to come here.
So when thinking about Weimar, what is it that you see that Weimar has the capacity to do? I think as we've talked before, you've been drawn to some of the potential here. Mm-hmm. What do you see as some of the potential Weimar Academy this year?
Oh, well, first of all, I've been able to spend a little bit of time with the young people. They're fantastic young people. I'm very excited to work with them. And the staff here, just are great people. So I see that, you've already have some things going right now that are just exciting to me. Mm-hmm. You sit on Weimar sits on an over 450 acre campus where we're surrounded by nature, and when I read the Spirit of Prophecy, I hear that nature is a big part of education. And with source learning, the source learning that she promotes, that we should get out into nature and see what God has in store for us.
So source learning, if I can tap in on that. You mentioned that, and I've heard you talk about it before. Do you see that as applying just to nature, or another part of the curriculum?
No, I really believe that, and I think most people in general are like this, that we need to create real-life situations for our young people, not fabricate these lessons to where they spend hours on, and as soon as they get a grade, they throw them out. Things where real-life situations, for instance, one of the things we're excited about exploring next year is doing some TV shows, some evangelistic TV shows where the kids are creating their own shows and speaking to other teens about Jesus.
Mm-hmm. So this is in the working with Amazing Facts Television, right?
Exactly. Amazing Facts Television with the new transfer from the main satellite with 3ABN to a new satellite system. Amazing Facts will be on that program channel where we're going to reach just a ton of people through that venue. And I believe that these young people are going to be a huge instrument in winning souls for Jesus in the future.
Amen. That's what we need. So now you talked about some real life learning, so I just want to make sure I understand. You do believe in strong academics, or is this something you just see as kind of a practical education without the academics?
No, absolutely. I think that when you do things like source learning, when you do real life application, that the results are these young people are going to be, when you look at their test scores, or you look at their academic grades or report cards afterwards, they're going to be stronger. The world thinks that education should be done a certain way, but God has something better. It reminds me so much about when you read the story about Daniel and his friends. The world had a view of how life should be, how they should act, what they should eat. And Daniel said, here's what God says. Let us do this unorthodox way, and then see what happens. And after a period of, 3 years? They were 10 times smarter than their peers. And the way I look at it is, if we follow God's plan, if we look at what He says in the Bible and in the Spirit of Prophecy, He has laid out for us a blueprint on how we should do education. And I believe that when you follow that blueprint, our young people will be smarter, than the average child.
All right, that's the Daniel effect, right?
The Daniel effect.
Exactly.
Amen. I like that. I like that.
That's good. Well, that's what we're looking for.
Yeah.
And we believe absolutely that, this idea that when God lays out a plan, we follow the plan.
Amen.
That's it. Good.
Amen. I know that if we were going to do things according to my opinion, that'd be a really bad idea, because man's opinion comes and goes. What we think is good now, a year down the road, we shouldn't do that. But God's way has been perfect for eternity, and it will be, and we want to follow His leading.
All right. So if you had a chance to talk with a student or teacher or a student or a parent and get an idea of, to help them get an idea of what Weimar Academy is about, why should they come to Weimar Academy, what would you say?
Well, I'd say, let me throw it. If you have a child who you would like to experience a community where the teachers were focused on their salvation, wanted to draw closer to Jesus as a community. I personally want to grow closer to Jesus on a daily basis. I desire that for my students, and as a community, we want to do that. If you desire a school that would where your kids could go, where they're not just worried about themselves, but they're worried about the salvation of others, evangelism.
So it's education to be able to share it with others, not
That's right.
just education to puff themselves
Exactly,
up.
not selfish education, right? Exactly. To be able to go out in the community and use this knowledge. If you're looking for a school that doesn't want to accept second-rate work, that is wanting to help a young person reach their fullest potential in their academics, and their spiritual life, their social life, then I would say that you should prayerfully consider Weimar, because that's what we're about. That's what we're going for. We want a place that isn't better than the community school. We want a supernatural school.
Amen.
That where people would think, where is God's school? Where's a model of God's school? They would say Weimar Academy.
That's what we're
the
looking
goal.
for.
A
Yeah.
goal that, by the way, won't be reached in this life.
That's right.
We're going to be constantly striving for God's standard.
So it'll be better next year,
Amen.
and then better again.
Exactly.
Like
If you talk to me 5 years down the road and Weimar is the same as it was 3 years ago, I won't be satisfied with that.
Yeah.
There's a problem with that.
Sure.
Amen.
Well, one more thing I want to do is talk about some of the connections. How do you see, we have an elementary school on campus, the college,
Sure.
AFCO's on campus. How do you see all those connecting at all? Or you?
Well, I'll tell you what, the blessings that we have, Weimar in the health field speaks for itself.
The New Start Lifestyle
New
Center
Start,
right here on campus.
Exactly. For years they've been helping people and doing things that traditional wisdom says can't be done or shouldn't be done. People come to New Start and their lives are changed.
Man, I've seen it.
I tell you what, we would be foolish not to tap into that knowledge and wisdom. I see us working with them. I see this working with the elementary school. We might have young people that want to go into teaching.
Absolutely.
What better way to give them source learning but than to have them working with the elementary school and helping them that way. I see our young people developing Bible studies and enrichment activities for these young people to do. Working with the college is kind of it seems to be a natural fit as well, because if we have young people who are highly motivated and want to excel and get into college sooner, there's no reason why we shouldn't be able to offer college courses here in the high school.
Do you think you have the support of the dean on that?
Absolutely. I actually know the dean well, and
oh, good.
I think you're okay with it.
I think so. We want that to happen. Absolutely.
And as far as AFCO, wow, what an amazing institution whose primary focus is to train young people to turn the world upside down for Jesus, to win souls. Matthew 28, the Gospel Commission. And I know that the staff and myself will be doing some training with them this summer, and we're so excited to be working with AFCO. So, it is like a kid. I'm like a kid in a candy shop out here.
Good.
It's like, oh right, Lord, what a blessing.
That's good. Well, I appreciate you taking time to come and want to get a little introduction. Thank you for taking time to visit with us, and hope you are blessed. Please consider Weimar Academy for your academy-age student. Amen. And visit the website weimaracademy.org or academy.weimar.edu. Thanks so much for being with us. Thanks, brother. I appreciate you taking the time to do this. Glad we got it without.